welcome to another month of YA Book Club. So last month we did historical fiction and I hope y'all enjoyed. I know I did. I ended up reading the Boxers and Saints graphic novels just because I was busy and graphic novels are nice and easy to read. But wow, I was not expecting what happened in those books. They were both great, and you definitely should read like Boxers first and then Saints because trying to do the reverse wouldn't quite make as much sense. But it was very interesting to learn about a time period in Chinese history that I'd never really looked at before, so that was fun. It was a little bit sad. It was not a happy ending book, either of them, so that was a little upsetting. I went and read some happy books after, of course. But definitely a great read. I loved it. The art was incredible. I mean, the artist is incredible. It's a great artist, great writer. Would definitely recommend. So now onto this month's books. We are doing fantasy. It's my favorite genre, so it was really fun picking these books. Tried to pick some new ones because I know I'm pretty sure we've done fantasy. I've done like an overall fantasy pick before, so I tried to pick some new ones, even though you know I've got some tried and true favorites. But let's go ahead and jump right in with our first book, The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. So 17-year-old Alice and her mother have spent most of Alice's life on the road, always a step ahead of the uncanny bad luck biting at their heels. But when Alice's grandmother, the reclusive author of a cult classic book of pitch-dark fairy tales, dies alone on her estate, the Hazelwood, Alice learns how bad her luck can really get. Her mother is stolen away by a figure who claims to come from the hinterland, the cruel supernatural world where her grandmother's stories are set. Alice's only lead is the message her mother left behind: stay away from the Hazelwood. Alice has long steered clear of her grandmother's cultish fans, but now she has no choice but to ally with classmate Ellery Finch, a hinterland superfan who may have his own reasons for wanting to help her. To retrieve her mother, Alice must venture first to the Hazelwood, then into the world where her grandmother's tales began, and where she might find out how her own story went so wrong. This book has been on my to-read list for like ages, and it's got just such a lovely cover, as you can see. Definitely sounds like a nice little dark fantasy, you know, mix things up from princesses and dragons and stuff. I do try to get you something interesting. So the next book is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. And I'm sorry to all these people whose names I butcher. So, it's 1889. The city is on the cusp of industry and power, and the Exposition Universelle has breathed new life into the streets and dredged up ancient secrets. Here, no one keeps tabs on dark truths better than treasure hunter and wealthy hotelier Severin Montagnet Ellery. When the elite, ever-powerful Order of Babel coerces him to help them on a mission, Severin is offered a treasure that he never imagined: his true inheritance. To hunt down the ancient artifact the Order seeks, Severin calls upon a band of unlikely experts: an engineer with a debt to pay, a historian banished from his home, a dancer with a sinister past, and a brother in arms if not blood. Together they will join Severin as he explores the dark, glittering heart of Paris. What they find might change the course of history, but only if they can stay alive. So this one pulls a little historical, but bigger emphasis on fantasy than historical, I would say. It's another one that's been on my to-read list. I'm pretty sure the sequel's already out too. The same with the Hazelwood. They're both like the start of series, so that's always good because then if you like this one, you have more books to read. All right, this next one is one of my absolute favorites. I own the whole series and I reread them probably like once a year, but it's Howls Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. If you've watched the Hayao Miyazaki movie, it is amazing, an amazing adaptation. The book is even better. So, Sophie has the great misfortune of being the eldest of 3 daughters, destined to fail miserably should she ever leave home to seek her fate. But when she unwittingly attracts the ire of the Witch of the Waste, Sophie finds herself under a horrid spell that transforms her into an old lady. Her only chance at breaking it lies in the ever-moving castle in the hills, the wizard Howls Castle. To untangle the enchantment, Sophie must handle the heartless Howl, strike a bargain with the fire demon, and meet the Witch of the Waste head-on. Along the way, she discovers there's far more to Howl and herself than first meets the eye. And like I said, this is another one that's the first in the series, and all 3 books in this series are great. It's not like a traditional series, like, it's fabulous. Like, read the book, watch the movie, love your life. And then I think that the other one in the series I really like is House of Many Ways. That's also a great one. They're all great. She writes just wonderful books, so highly recommend. So, our next book is A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. 16-year-old Eva is a princess, born with the magic of marrow and blood, a dark and terrible magic that hasn't been seen for generations in the vibrant but fractured country of Mire. Its last known practitioner was Queen Rhaena, who toppled the native Khmer royalty and massacred thousands, including her own sister 8 generations ago, thus beginning the rival heir tradition. Living in Rhaena's long and dark shadows, Eva must now face her older sister, Issa, in a battle to the death if she hopes to ascend to the ivory throne, because in the queendom of Mire, only the strongest, most ruthless rulers survive. When Eva is attacked by an assassin just weeks before the battle with her sister, she discovers there is more to the attempt on her life than meets the eye, and it isn't just her sister who wants to see her dead. As tensions escalate, Eva is forced to turn to a Fae instructor of mythic proportions and a mysterious and handsome Khmer prince for help in growing her magic into something to fear. Because despite the love she still has for her sister, Eva will have to choose Issa's death or her own. This is another, you'll notice a trend. Most of these books that I pick are on my to-read list, which is extensive, unfortunately for me. Fortunately for me. This is another one on it. It, again, is a start in a series, so exciting. And I like that it's focused a lot on, like, I think this is one that's focused more on, like, the sister relationship than, like, a romantic love sort of thing, kind of like Frozen. They try to trick you with it, but definitely should read this. And since fantasy is my favorite genre, there's a lot of good ones that I really love and I just want to introduce you to. So this is The Will of the Empress by one of my all-time favorite fantasy authors, Tamara Pierce. So Daja, Briar, Triss, and Sandry have grown up and grown apart since their days together at Winding Circle, and Sandry's especially disappointed with the change. When Sandry's uncle requests that her 3 old friends accompany her on a visit to Sandry's vast lands within the Empire of Nemorn, the young mages discover that they've landed in a trap. Nemorn's iron-willed Empress Bereni has plans for Sandry and her companions, and she has wily and powerful mages to help her. So, of course, does Sandry, if only she can get them to work together. 4 mages, 1 destiny, no turning back. So this is actually like a continuation of her Circle of Magic series. So it starts with the Circle of Magic, the circle opens, and then this. But you can read this without knowing what happens in the other books because she does a really good job of setting it up still. It's an excellent book. It's another one that I've reread many times, and it's about time for me to do a full Tamara Pierce reread. Can't recommend her enough. She's like one of the greatest fantasy authors I've ever read. All right, our last but certainly not least book, and then of course there will always be more in the Goodreads post. This is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. Raised to be a warrior, 17-year-old Aelin fights along her Aska clansmen in an ancient rivalry against the Riki clan. Her life is brutal but simple. Fight and survive. Until the day she sees the impossible on the battlefield. Her brother, fighting with the enemy, the brother she watched die 5 years ago. Faced with her brother's betrayal, she must survive the winter in the mountains with the Riki, in a village where every neighbor is an enemy, every battle scar possibly one she delivered. But when the Riki village is raided by a ruthless clan thought to be a legend, Aelin is even more desperate to get back to her beloved family. She is given no choice but to trust Fisk, her brother's friend who sees her as a threat. They must do the impossible. unite the clans to fight together or risk being slaughtered one by one. Driven by a love for her clan and her growing love for Fisk, Elin must confront her own definition of loyalty and family while daring to put her faith in the people she spent her life hating. Again, another one. This one's sort of like Vikings, so that was kind of cool. Another great book. So there will be those 6, and then probably 6-ish more in the Goodreads post. I'm going to try and pick a good variety for that too, so be sure to check it out. So this month's activity, we are actually going to start sort of preparing for one of our summer reading activities. So this summer in July, I'm going to sort of host and encourage y'all to participate in Camp NaNoWriMo, which is the summer session of National Novel Writing Month. So it's a little bit of a looser definition because normally during November for NaNoWriMo, you're trying to do 50,000 words in 30 days. The camp sessions, which one takes place in April and then one takes place in July, is a little more relaxed and a little more, loosey-goosey, not that it's super strict in the first place. So in July, you get to set your own challenge. You can do word count, page count, you can do whatever sort of project you want. It doesn't have to be a novel, it could be a script, it could be a memoir, poetry, whatever you want. So in the spirit of sort of slowly getting ready for that, because it's good to just kind of ease yourself into it, plus I think it's fun to do these sorts of things, I have printed off part of their prep workbook that they have, which is a great resource, so please go and check that out because they have one on the regular Nano site, and then on the Young Writers Project site they have it targeted by age level. So if you don't like the one on the Nano site, go check out the other ones because they're fabulous as well. But back to the point. This month I'm going to have you guys doing the character questionnaire section. So when I start writing a story, I usually start with characters. I know a lot of people start with plot. I usually come up with a character and then go, what are they doing? What's interesting? So this is going to walk you through creating your characters, kind of fleshing them out, getting an idea. If you want to start with plot, feel free, start with that. Maybe have a basic idea before you get into this, or just create some wacky characters for fun, because that's fully in the spirit of Nano as well, is just writing absolute nonsense. I hope y'all enjoy it. It'll be there available, and then as we get closer, so next month we'll do another section, and then for July I will have this available. It is a digital file you can edit, so it's an Adobe file that you can download and edit. Not an Adobe, I think it's actually Google Docs if you download it from them. So it is available there for you to do, or you can come pick up a copy here, and then again in July I'll have a more complete one that you can pick up, or again you can just download it yourself and fill it out. So next month for May, I thought we would do May the 4th, so I'm going to try and find enough Star Wars books and have a Star Wars themed. If I can't find enough Star Wars, then I'll kind of fill in with some science fiction books, because I've seen a few really good ones, so we may just do general science fiction, but focus on kind of like Star Wars. And that is all for now. I hope y'all liked the books that I talked about, and then the books in the Goodreads post, don't forget to check that out. And be sure to always tell me if there's something you want to do, books you're curious about, books you think I should have been talking about and haven't been. And as always, have a great day and keep reading, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye!